A very warm good afternoon to all of you. Today we'll be discussing a topic, attention and interest. So it's a very important topic when it comes to a preschool education, or any teacher must have the knowledge about attention and interest of the child. What is attention and what is interest? Now I like to define it. Firstly, the definition should be clear to all of you. So attention is a selective act of mind. Attention is a selective act of mind. To attend a thing is to concentrate on it and removing attention from the other things. If you have to attend something, you have to pay attention to it. Then only you will be able to understand that thing. The mind can attend only one thing at one time properly. Now, if any child is listening to one particular thing and thinking about something else, then he won't be able to, properly learn that particular concept. So this is amply demonstrated in our daily life. The boys whose interest is in playing will attend the play, while those who are interested in studying will study. So now we'll elaborate it a bit. जो बच्चे पढ़ने में अच्छे होते हैं, उनका पढ़ने में मन लगता है, जिनको चीज़ें समझ में आती है, they have more concentration and attention towards that particular thing. And जो बच्चे पढ़ने में अच्छे नहीं होते हैं, those who do not have a very good attention, they are not having interest. So attention and interest are related to each other. So one cannot attend to the studies by forcibly sitting for it. Now, even if you force a child to sit back and study, that's not going to be much fruitful. Why? Because even if he sits back and studies, if he's not attentive, not having interest in the particular subject, then he won't be able to gain anything out of it. Hence, successful teacher tries to make the student interested in his studies. Now, for a preschool, it's very important that whatever you are teaching must be done in an interesting manner. Now, what is interesting? जिसमें बच्चों को मन लगे. That's always the concentration of a preschool teacher, is to make the child learn without making him understand that he's actually studying. That is the playway method of learning. Now, interest is an affective disposition which evokes attention and maintains it. Now, if you are interested in something, you will be attentive towards it, and attention will increase, and slowly your interest will also be in that area. It is a permanent tendency or a mental structure which supplies sufficient motivating power to motor activity. Now, interest is something that will give you the power to interact with that particular thing or that particular environment. The individuals of different sexes have naturally different interests. Now you can observe different sexes, like a male child and a female child will have different interests. Female child always like to play with doll houses, fragile things. They are very soft. And boys will always like to play with more structural toys, like in guns, bikes, cars. They are more motivated towards these things. So interest also depends on the sex of the child. Now, thus individuals develop different interests according to their attention, economic, social and political status. Now, interest also depends on the status of the family. Suppose some child is coming from a richer family, some child is coming from a little lower income group family, then their interest might change, because something that the higher class family is doing or trying make the child do, maybe that the lower income child is not doing it. They are not being taught to do it, so they are not having interest in that field. As it has been already pointed out, interest is a mental structure and is expressed through attention. When the individual is not attending to a particular object, his interest is in dormant form. Now, किसी को भी किसी चीज़ में interest हो सकता है, but if that particular thing is not being done by the child, the interest might be in the dormant form. Dormant is sleeping form. अगर आप उसको वो चीज़ करवाएंगे तो बच्चे का इंटरेस्ट उस फील्ड में जाग जाएगा, लेकिन क्योंकि वो बच्चा अभी उस चीज़ को नहीं कर रहा है, नहीं सीख रहा है, तो he is not interested in knowing it. Now, what are the necessary steps for securing attention of children? Now, every activity of the individual is based on the interest and attention. A teacher can succeed in imparting education only when education and interest of the student are directed towards education. अगर बच्चे को तभी वो सिखा सकती है when the child is having interest as well as attention in learning it. With this point of view, we shall try to bring out the meaning of attention and various characteristics and forms and factors responsible for attention. We are going to study about the different factors, about the characteristics and about the forms. It's also necessary to establish and study the relationship between interest and attention. There happens to be a relationship between attention and interest, and we are going to read about it. Now, meaning and definition of attention. That's very, very important. You must know this can be one of the questions asked to you in your entity exam. Now, consciousness is like a stream. It flows continuously. हमेशा वो चलता रहता है दिमाग के अंदर. The stream is composed of sensation, mental experiences, projections, and attention. These are the things that keep on going in your mind. So now, attention is essential element of the stream. Attention is generally in the act of holding the impression or idea in the focus of conscience. Ordinarily, the term attention is used for more protected mental processes, something for which you are more interested. So attention is the word used for that. Older psychologists believe that attention is a mental power. Olden times में psychologists used to believe कि attention जो है दिमाग की शक्ति है, mental power है. But modern psychologists do not accept this theory. They say that this is a mental activity. So there is a little bit of difference between the two views, but we'll take both into consideration because the older scientists used to say that it's attention is a mental power, and the moderns say that no, it's not a mental power, it's the opinion of the mental activity. Now we are surrounded by environment. Along with the environment, we have the conscience. If the conscience is directed towards a particular thing, our interest is concentrated. हम लोग का कॉन्शियस जिस चीज़ की तरफ जाता है उस चीज़ के प्रति हमारे पास अटेंशन आ जाती है. Now, for example, in a classroom there are student, desk, bench, blackboard, teacher and the teacher's words. For a student, it is possible to focus the conscious at only one object. बहुत सारी चीज़ होती है क्लासरूम के अंदर. टीचर भी है, वो कुछ बोल भी रही है, चेयर्स भी हैं, टेबल्स भी हैं, टॉयज़ भी हैं, ब्लैकबोर्ड भी है. तो नाउ टीचर जो बोल रही है उसके ऊपर बच्चा कॉन्सेंट्रेट करता है कि नहीं. दैट्स ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. In other words, it is focusing of conscious on a particular object. एक particular object पे focus करना. That's also important. For a student, it is possible to focus only at one thing at a time. Either he shall look at the teacher or look at the word written by him on the blackboard. या तो वो टीचर को देखेगा वो क्या बोल रही है, या वो लेटर्स को देखेगा जो टीचर ने ब्लैकबोर्ड पे ऑलरेडी लिख दिया है. एक बार में वो दोनों चीज़ें नहीं कर सकता है. अटेंशन कैन बी फोकस्ड एट ओनली वन प्लेस. सो मैकडॉगल has defined the process in the following ways. Attention is merely contained or striving considered from the point of view of its effect on cognitive process. It has got its effect on cognitive, that's the thinking procedure. Other psychologists and educationalists have also defined attention. Let's see some of the definitions. It is the concentration of conscience upon one object rather than upon another. It is the essential element in all creative activities. Second definition is the problem of attention centers in the fact of sensible clearness. Another definition, attention is a process of getting an object of thought clearly before the mind. So I would suggest you to learn few definitions, whichever you find easy. I'll be sharing you this matter, and you can learn one or two definitions which can be useful to write during examinations. Now, characteristics of attention. There are some characters are there of attention. We'll be focusing on that now. So instability, attention का एक characteristics है instability. Now what is instability? Instability is not being stable. यानी attention हम हमेशा एक चीज़ पे स्थायी नहीं रख सकते हैं. That is what is focusing on. So now, attention is unstable and short-lived. It may be called shifting. It is not possible to concentrate on our attention on one particular object for a longer period of time. So for 9 to 10 seconds you concentrate on something, and then again your eyes automatically move to some other object. The ticks of the clock are sometimes heard and sometimes they disappear. इसलिए क्या होता है, कभी कभी हमें वो घड़ी की चलती हुई सुइयाँ जो है वो सुनाई देती हैं, और जब हम कुछ और सोचने लगते हैं हमारा ध्यान कहीं और चला जाता है, तो फिर वो सुइयाँ जो चलती वो तो चलती ही रहती हैं. इट गोज ऑन, it doesn't stop. But in the conscious of our mind, we are not able to hear that sound, because after 10-15 seconds automatically our attention has gone to something else. Same in the classroom. The attention of the child is not going to be fixed only to your words. Sometimes you will see that a child is listening to you, is following up whatever the instructions the teachers are giving, but sometimes you will see कि उसका ध्यान हट गया है वहाँ से, because long term attention एक चीज़ पे नहीं कर सकते. It's not possible. Now, selectivity. Attention has a special qualification of selectivity. Attention is not focused on things at a time. It select our attention, is focused on it. The things that is of our interest gets our attention quickly. Now अटेंशन जो है उन चीज़ों को जल्दी मिलता है जो चीज़ें हमें पसंद होती हैं. जो हमें पसंद नहीं होती हैं उन पे हम अटेंशन नहीं देते हैं. ना हम अपनी बात नहीं, हम यहाँ पे बच्चों की बात करेंगे. वी टॉक अबाउट चिल्ड्रन. सो वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू, चिल्ड्रन always like to focus on things that they like. So it's always suggested for a preschool trainer or a teacher that while teaching anything, there should be a playway method of learning, because the playway method of learning always inculcates the behavior of the child to be involved and engaged in that particular learning procedure. Because normally what we observe is 2 to 5 years of group which are coming to the preschool, those children are likely to have less attention on the things, and even if they have attention, that's for a very short period of time. So the teacher has to make sure that she has to be always selective, and she has to always involve the children in the activity in which the child is interested. Third is narrowness. Since the attention of the quality of selectivity, its span has to be narrow. Now anything that you are teaching should not be for a very long period of time, because what happens is that after some time the child starts getting bored and wants to see something new. So it's always suggested for a preschool trainer that you have to keep on changing your methodologies, your statements, your way of teaching, way of learning, way of communicating the things to the child should always be changing and should always be interesting. So it should be something for which the child is craving and just wants to hear some words from you. And this will be only possible if you are using a narrow method, a very selective procedure. Narrow means for a very short period of time you are concentrating on one subject or one particular thing. Now, quality of invention or discovery. We call this quality or liking for newness. The attention is focused on a new thing only. We select a new thing out of many and concentrate our attention on it. Woodworth has rightly said that the attention is shifting because it is inventive and likes to make new discovery. Now, you have to always be very innovative, because if you will not be innovative, the children won't listen to you. Children always want to learn something new, see something new. So every time, even if you are teaching the same topic, even if you are making them learn the same things, the procedure to be followed has to be different, has to be innovative each time, so that the child has interest in your subject matter. If you are using the same teaching methodology for every topic, then the child will slowly lose interest and would not like to study with it again. Two aspects of attention are negative and positive, and its negative attention is so if our attention is first on a particular thing, natural shift from one thing, the shifting of an attention from one particular thing, it's negative quality. Now attention जो क्या होता है कि जब भी हम कोई चीज़ कर रहे होते हैं and something interesting happens nearby, or if some sound comes in our ears, we automatically shift our attention to another object. That is negative impact of attention. Now, sixth is mental activity. For an attention, it is necessary to have mental activity. You must have mental activity for attention. Now, what mental activity you will have? Unless the mind gets active, it is not possible for our conscience to learn anything. So your mind has to be active. Seventh is preparedness. The child must be prepared enough to concentrate on you and whatever you are speaking. So there has to be a preparedness. There has to be some speech done, some communication done, some counseling done before you start to make them learn something new, something innovative. Coordination of various activities. Now there has to be coordination between one activity and the other, so that child gets connected and doesn't lose interest in that particular thing. Attention is cognitive, affective and cognitive. Three aspects of our mental life is knowing, feeling and willing are involving in attention. We gain some knowledge by attention. This is the cognitive effect. क्या होता है, हम कुछ सीखते हैं. अटेंशन जब हम देते हैं किसी चीज़ की तरफ तो we learn something. That's the cognitive part. In attention we have some interest, that is the aspect of attention, and we do some activity, that is the volitional aspect of education. हम कुछ करते हैं, that's also one aspect. Attention is purposive or purposeful. We focus our attention on a particular subject only when we are guided for that. हम उसी समय उस चीज़ पे ध्यान देते हैं जब हमें उसके लिए गाइड किया जाता है. Analytic and synthetic attitude. In attention, the analytic tendency of the individual is involved. When we look at a stronger stranger, we cast a glance at his height, physique, and complexion, and that too separately on each of the aspect. Afterwards, we synthesize and remark that the particular person is handsome or ugly. अब हम किसी जब नए इंसान को देखते हैं, we look at the different prospects of that person, different, height, weight, personality, complexion, his behavior, so many things we observe, and then we come to know, we make a conclusion looking at his physical attributes, that whether he is ugly or beautiful. Now talking to him, observing him will give you another idea of whether that person is of which behavior. Now, types of forms of attention. Classification of attention, there are two. Attention is divided into two types. One is involuntary and second is voluntary. It's very clear by the name. Something that you do on your own is your voluntary action, so that is your voluntary attention. जो चीज़ आपको अच्छी लगती है, अगर आपको वो करने के लिए नहीं भी कहा जाएगा, तो automatically, since you are interested for it, your attention will go towards it. Second would be involuntary. Now involuntary attention would be something in which you are not interested, but people will guide you and then you will listen to it or feel attentive towards it. Now classification of attention is in another way it's done. That's while volitional attention, volitional attention and non-volitional attention. Now in volitional attention, the attention which the individual has to make efforts, जिसमें उसको मेहनत करनी पड़ती है, उसको एफर्ट लगाना पड़ता है, that is volitional attention, and that is of two types, that is implicit attention and explicit attention. I would like to give you a short knowledge about implicit also and explicit. When the individuals has to make only ordinary effort, that is implicit, and so many times the individual has to make efforts for so many times to understand something, so that is explicit. Now another is non-volitional attention. This is another name for involuntary attention. It's same like voluntary and involuntary, and something that you do not like, so you have to make a lot of efforts to find yourself attentive in that particular field, and that's called non-volitional attention. Under the non-volitional attention, there are two categories. One is the spontaneous and one is the enforced. Now spontaneous is in which solely based on instincts, due to natural interest. कभी कभी क्या होता है, हमारा अंतर्मन, ऑल्दो हम उस चीज़ के लिए इंटरेस्टेड नहीं होते हैं, बट आवर नेचुरल इंस्टिंक्ट जो हमारे अंदर है, हमारा सेल्फ कॉन्शियस, वो हमें कहते हैं कि नहीं ये चीज़ हमें कर लेनी चाहिए, तो हम कर लेते हैं, उसके लिए हम अटेंशन क्रिएट कर लेते हैं, प्रोवोक कर लेते हैं. दैट इज स्पॉन्टेनियस. एनफोर्स्ड इज when due to the somebody is forcing us to concentrate or attend something. That's called enforced. Now incentives of attention. There are two types of incentives that influence and guide attention. Now we'll discuss outer incentives and the inner incentives. So there are two categories. One is the outer incentives. Incentives that exist outside the individual and are present in the stimulus are called outside intensive incentives. जो किसी भी इंसान के बाहर होता है, उसके स्टिमुलस में प्रेजेंट होता है, that's called in intensives of outer incentives. Now उसमें क्या होगा, newness. उसमें first point है newness. Now in the newness category, our interest will always be out in the things, new things. So there should be newness in the things, then only the attention would be there. If the same thing is being taught in the same boring manner, then the children will not feel attentive towards it. Now change always attracts our attention. If some changes take place, our attention is automatically focused. Suppose you have changed the configuration of the classroom for the children. Suppose you have been placing a blackboard in the east side of the east wall, then now you have suddenly changed it to the south or the north wall. Then the children will feel attracted towards it. They will feel more attentive. They will have a change in the daily schedule and the daily things that they were looking at. So this gives them a lot of peace. Intensity. If the stimulus of the intention are strong, you have a strong intensity towards it, then obviously it will be more, and there will be a strong stimulus, then you will do that. Now repetition. If a particular stimulus is repeated again and again, it will become strong enough to divert and attract our attention. If there is something that is again and again repeated, then you will have some attention towards it. Now mobility or fastness is a strong factor for attracting the attention. A thing that is running fast or moving quickly attracts attention very easily. कोई चीज़ जो बहुत जल्दी पास होती है, जिसको हम सही से देख नहीं पाते हैं, उसके अंदर हमारा इंटरेस्ट बहुत जल्दी आता है. Now contrast is another means of attracting attention. If a tall person is made to stand before a short-statured person, बहुत लंबा आदमी, उसके बगल में आपने बहुत छोटे आदमी को खड़ा कर दिया, तो obviously that thing will gain attention of everybody. Duration, if particular thing continues for longer duration, our attention is likely to focus. एक ही चीज़ को बहुत लंबे समय तक बोले जा रहे तो एक टाइम ऐसा आएगा थोड़ी देर के बाद हम सोचेंगे चलो हम सुन ही लेते हैं भाई कि हमें क्या बताया जा रहा है. So that's also very important that something is repeated for a long span of time, then automatically the attention of the students are gained at that place. Now another point is size. Things of bigger size are more capable of attracting attention. If you are showing toys to the children and huge big toys are there, you are likely to procure more attention from the children. They are going to be more attentive because बड़ी चीज़ें जो होती हैं, that is very attractive for the children. And if you are using the colorful things, it will be even more attractive. Another is ninth is the definite form. If the particular thing is in definite form, it is more capable of attention. Okay, if something is in a different definite form and big in size, so that will attract the attention more. Now these were the outer incentives that we were talking about. Now we'll be talking about the inner incentives. The inner incentives, first is desire or will. Now you must have a desire or a will to see that thing, or to have interest in that particular thing. If you have a desire or willingness, then your attention will be focused definitely. Second is interest. If you have interest in that particular field, then also your interest in that particular area will obviously be focused. Third is habit. Habit is also very important aspect. If you have a habit, if you have been using that particular thing, if you want to use it, you are in a habit of doing so, then your attention will automatically be there. Then fourth is instincts. Instincts are very important. They are natural guidance in our behavior. Like we are hungry, then we come to know through our instinct that हमें भूख लगी, then we feel like eating. So if there is something like that, then automatically you will have interest towards it. Emotions are also very important. That are determined factors of attention. Under the influence of emotions, we feel more attractive. Past experience. The things in which you had a past experience, you will be more attentive because you are already aware of that particular thing. Seventh is nature and tendencies. A man with a particular nature or particular inclination is about to be attracted towards a particular thing which is related to his inclination. अगर किसी को किसी चीज़ के प्रति रुझान है, ज़्यादा उसको उसमें मन लगता है, तो ऑब्वियसली उसका अट्रैक्शन उस चीज़ की तरफ ज़्यादा होगा. Objective or purpose. Ideas and views that are helpful in the fulfillment of our objective or purpose attract us very quickly. This is another very important aspect. Training and inclination. Now training and inclination are great sources for attracting our attention towards things. It's only a count of training that a person gets the particular thing and starts focusing. If you are trained for some particular thing, तुम सीख गए हो, तुम्हें बता दिया गया है, सिखा दिया गया है, then obviously your interest area will increase in that particular field. Now this we were talking about the internal attention incentives and external incentives, outer and inner incentives. Now we'll be coming to the factors of attention. Now there are two factors which influence attention. One is the external factor and the other one is the internal factor. Factors that exist outside the individual and are present in the stimulus are called external factors. Our attention is easily focused on new things as compared to old ones. If the stimulus is strong, we are sure to be attracted by it. Mobility or fastness is a strong factor for it. Is the same that we have already discussed. External factors, that is the outer incentives. The same thing. You can go through it. It's very simple. I'll just read it out. If particular thing continues for longer duration, our attention is likely to be focused. The duration of external factors of education. Likewise, things of bigger size will be more capable, already discussed, will be more capable of attracting the attention. And then if the particular things has a definite form, it will be more important and people will be more lured towards it. So we have discussed the same points that we have discussed in the outer tendencies, that which you have to write in the external factors. Second is the internal factors. I'll just read it out. It's the internal tendencies and the internal factors are more or less same. We have certain tendencies due to which we are attracted towards some object. These are our internal or subjective factors which influence our attention. If we have a desire or will or for a particular thing, our attention is definitely focused on it. If you have a desire for something, then you will be more focused on it. When hungry, an individual searches food, and when the food is before him, his attention is immediately focused on it. Emotions are also an important factor of attention, very very important factor, emotion. Under the influence of emotion, we are more attentive. अगर किसी चीज़ के प्रति हमारा इमोशनल लगाव होता है, तो उस चीज़ के लिए हम ज़्यादा अटेंटिव रहते हैं, ज़्यादा हम अट्रैक्टिव रहते हैं, ज़्यादा उस चीज़ के बारे में हम सुनना चाहते हैं. So attention will always be there. The objects of our past experience attract us very easily. A man with a particular inclination is attracted towards a thing which harmonizes the inclination. The religious person is always, attracted by the religious objects and books. So it all depends on the inner self also, which person is attracted towards which thing more. But it totally depends on the external and internal factors on which the attention will totally depend. Now we'll be doing the interest part. Okay, second part of this topic is interest. So I'll just go through what's interest. I think everybody must be knowing that interest is something that you like to do. उसी को हम interest बोलते हैं. जिस चीज़ को हमें करना अच्छा लगता है तो हम बोलते हैं कि वो हमारा area of interest है. तो that can be inculcated within your lifetime, and that can be by birth also, something that's God gift. बहुत सारे बच्चों को पेंटिंग बहुत अच्छी लगती है, जन्म से ही उनको कलर्स बहुत पसंद होते हैं, डांसिंग बहुत अच्छा लगता है. तो कहीं कहीं पे आप देखेंगे कि वो इनबॉर्न टैलेंट होता है, कहीं कहीं पे आप देखेंगे कि वो लर्निंग के बाद एक्वायर किया जाता है. तो इन बोथ द केसेस, एक्सक्यूज मी, that there will be interest. Man is of such constitution that he gets interested in one thing or the other. This interest is generally considered to be a natural quality, but it may be acquainted also. As I told you, natural भी हो सकता है, acquainted भी हो सकता है, acquire कर सकते हैं हम अपनी life में. In fact, if the interest which is responsible for the tendency to get attracted towards a particular thing, it is only account of interest or tendencies. In the words of McDowell, interest is a latent attention, and attention in interest is action. The essential conditions of both interest in and attention to any object is that the mind should be organized either natively or through experience, that impulse or power which maintains a train of activity in relation to the object. So you have to understand this concept that you have to be interesting. You have to find your interest and attention in the same area in order to give an impulse, and is that a result. Now according to Bingham, an interest is a tendency to become more observed. So you have to, that's the tendency to be more observed. Okay, according to Lowell, in essence, interest consists of set of subjective feeling about some rather concrete matter such as cricket, stamp collecting, needlework, and tendency to behave towards the topic in certain ways. So इसमें अब अलग चीज़ है, हर आदमी का इंटरेस्ट जो है वो अलग अलग होता है, और अलग अलग इंटरेस्ट के हिसाब से वो अपना आगे का जो है अलग अलग चीज़ों का सिलेक्शन करते हैं. कई बार आप देखेंगे बहुत सारे बच्चे बॉर्न ही वो इतने अच्छे होते हैं क्रिकेट खेलने में, इतने अच्छे होते हैं चेस खेलने में, कि वो हमेशा से चाहते हैं कि हम वही खेलें, हमें उसी में मन लगता है. सो दैट्स ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो देर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. वन इज़ द इनबॉर्न और नेचुरल इंटरेस्ट. आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू कि वो जन्म से ही आपके अंदर होगा, हर बच्चे के अंदर वो एक इनबॉर्न इंटरेस्ट होता है. एंड सेकेंड इज़ द एक्वायर्ड इंटरेस्ट. आपने सुना होगा इनबॉर्न एंड एक्वायर्ड. एक्वायर्ड इज समथिंग दैट यू गेन इन योर लाइफ टाइम. जैसे आप बड़े हुए, आपके पेरेंट्स को डांसिंग बहुत पसंद थी, आपकी मदर ने आपको बहुत अर्ली टाइम से ही शी हैज़ बीन ट्रेनिंग यू टू डांस एंड डांस. If the child is being trained from the very early years, then slowly that child gets into the habit of doing that activity, slowly gains an interest towards it. So that's what is called acquired interest. There is one interest which is a innate interest or a natural interest that is already in the child. It only needs brushing, and that interest is inborn. वो बच्चे के अंदर शुरू से ही होता है. Now I'll be doing the relationship between interest and attention. Famous psychologist Rose is of the view that interest and attention are like two faces of the same coin. And attention is a mental process, and interest is a mental trait. When our interest is roused in a particular object, then it is natural that attention will be focused on it. So you can say that they are directly proportional to each other. When your interest in some area will be there, then obviously more of interest will be there. On the other hand, we have it was this aim that McDougall remarked that interest is a learned attention and attention is interest in action. So it's the same thing. It simply means that interest is reflected in attention and attention is guided by interest. Interest जो है वो आपका attention है, और attention जिस चीज़ में interest रहेगा उसमें attention automatically आ जाएगा. At the time of examination, when we are interested in our study, our attention is often diverted by the sound of music. जब भी हम पढ़ाई में busy रहते हैं तो क्या होता है, हमारा पढ़ाई से ध्यान हट जाता है. Similarly, our enforced attention is devoid of interest. तो हमारा इंटरेस्ट उसमें नहीं रहता है. In the end, it shall have to be earmarked that to a very great extent, the interest is based on attention is based on interest. जिस चीज़ में attention होगा तभी जब आपका उस फील्ड में इंटरेस्ट होगा. The teacher should try to utilize the situation and create the students the interest for the study. As already discussed with you primarily, and I have been communicating this in many of my lectures, that इंटरेस्ट होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. बच्चे को इंटरेस्टिंग मैनर में कोई भी चीज़ पढ़ानी बहुत ज़रूरी है. अगर बच्चे को इंटरेस्ट नहीं होगा तो बच्चा उस चीज़ को नहीं सीखना चाहेगा. बच्चा नहीं सीखना चाहेगा तो फिर आप उसको पढ़ाई के मेथडोलॉजी से बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं करवा सकते, बिकॉज प्री स्कूल के बच्चों की एज बहुत कम होती है. Now, native interest influence the voluntary or involuntary or the non-volitional attention. The child, even though hearing the slow voice of his mother, tries to focus and attention on it. धीरे से भी मम्मा कुछ बोलती है तो बच्चा ध्यान से उसको सुन के उसको समझना चाहता है. दिस इज द इनबॉर्न इंटरेस्ट और लव. बच्चे के अंदर एक इनबॉर्न इंटरेस्ट होते हैं अपने मदर के लिए, वट एवर शी इज सेइंग, द चाइल्ड फोकसेस टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. द वॉलंटरी अटेंशन इज वेरी मच गाइडेड एंड इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय द एक्वायर्ड इंटरेस्ट. As soon as our attention is focused to a particular thing, it becomes clear to us. The more we are able to have a clear picture of an object, the more emotional attachment is formed. This results to generation for interest. In the field of education, we should try to generate interest along with attention, and then it shall be possible for us to employ these things in the education procedure. Now, in order to focus the attention of a child towards a particular object, we should try to concentrate and create interest. जैसे कि हम कोई स्टोरी कह रहे हैं, तो अगर हम बोलते जाएंगे ऐसे ही, once upon a time there was a boy, he was very hungry, will the children listen to it? No. You have to say, once upon a time there was a lion. तो बच्चा क्या होता है, अट्रैक्ट होता है आपकी तरफ. जब आप बच्चे को कोई चीज़ इंटरेस्टिंग बना के बताएंगे, then only the child will be attracted towards you and feel like learning about that thing. In order to make the lessons interesting, the teacher knows according to the age various native interests and needs of the children, and you have to implement those ideas to make the lessons interesting. By the attracting the attention of for the large number of times, even uninterestingly, कई बार होता है कि हम बच्चे इंटरेस्टेड नहीं भी हैं, फिर भी हमें उनका अटेंशन अपनी तरफ खींचना पड़ता है. टीचर को इसके लिए बहुत कॉन्शियस और कॉशियस रहना पड़ेगा. देन ओनली द टीचर विल बी एबल टू अट्रैक्ट द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द चाइल्ड. नाउ मीन्स एंड मेथड्स of focusing the attention of students or children. There are certain means and methods which you can try, which will increase the focus of the children and the attention of the children on whatever you are teaching or making them learn. First is peaceful environment. The teacher has to keep in mind that the environment that she is doing the studies, or whenever she is relating a story or doing some activity, then the environment should be peaceful. बच्चे आपकी बात सुनने चाहिए, क्लासरूम में पीस होना चाहिए, शांति होनी चाहिए, otherwise children will not be able to listen to you, they will not be able to concentrate on what you are saying. Second is affectionate and loving behavior. The teacher's behavior should be very affectionate and loving towards the children. That's very, very important aspect, and when it comes to preschool, I think it's one of the most important aspects, that teacher should be very, very friendly and loving to the children. Third is mental stage of children. You should always keep in view what's the mental state of the child. Always try to do something which the children want to listen. अब कभी बच्चों को स्टोरी सुनने का मन है, राइम्स करने का मन है, so you please be selective to and please do something that's always attract the children. Number D, methods of teaching. Methods of playway teaching should be employed so that the maximum interest of the children is there. Because when you use the playway method, then obviously the children will be more attracted towards you. They will like to play with you and they will like to learn along with playing. Number 5th, making the subject simple. It is the duty of the teacher to present the subject matter in a very simple way as you can, so that the child can easily learn it and it doesn't feel it's a burden for him. Leisure and rest. Now you have to also make sure that you are giving a proper amount of leisure and rest in between your sessions. ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है कि बच्चा स्कूल के अंदर आएगा एंड सुबह से आप पढ़ाना शुरू करेंगे और आप बस पढ़ाते ही जाएंगे जब तक लास्ट घंटे की छुट्टी ना लग जाए, जब तक छुट्टी की लास्ट घंटी ना लग जाए. दैट्स नॉट द कॉन्सेप्ट. द कॉन्सेप्ट इज दैट यू हैव टू हैव लेजर एंड स्टडीज टुगेदर. थोड़ा सा करा दिया, फिर कोई गेमिंग एक्टिविटी करा दी, कोई राइम्स करा दिया, कोई रनिंग एक्टिविटी, फिर से आपने कुछ सब्जेक्ट मैटर लेके आपने स्टार्ट कर दिया. Learning by doing. Children have natural interest in activities and they love to do activities. So try to let them do something and then learn the things. That will be stored in their memory for a longer period of time. Change of the subjects. Keep on changing the subject. Don't just keep stuck to one subject, because then the child will lose his attention. Creation of interest. You have to create an interest in the child's mind. That totally depends on the teacher, how she creates an interest in the child's mind for a particular thing. Correlation of the subject with the real life. Study with life. Now, whenever you teach something to the child, try to relate it with the real life to the children. If you relate something to the real life that they are living, it will be very easy for the students to understand the concept and to implement them in their daily lives. definite lesson plan. Your lesson plan should be definite and it should be ready. Your mind should be totally clear that what you have to teach and what will be the teaching methodology that you are going to use. Use of audio visual. Lot of audio visual aids to be used while teaching the children. Now audio visual waves are nothing, but they are the audio visual waves are nothing. They are the aids are something like you can use a microphone, you can use a speakerphone, you can use so many xylophones, you can use rattles, you can use all musical instruments for the creating that environment. If you're telling some story, then you can switch off the light, you can make the sound of the tiger or the lion roaring. So if you do these activities, it will be more realistic for the children and they'll be able to understand in a better possible manner. Education on the basis of natural tendencies. Education in the order of success, it should be in the successful and useful should be based on natural tendencies. Now suppose some child is having interest in particular area, he should be free to select that stream as his future stream, because inborn tendencies, if they are kept in view, if they are kept in mind, then the child will excel. Concentration of attention. No doubt the student should be encouraged to concentrate attention on the subjects of the study, but precautions should be taken that they do not develop or dislike it. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप इतना ज़्यादा पीछे पड़ जाइए, you keep on मतलब again and again repeating the same thing to the child so that the child develops a negative impact towards the subject. To find out causes of lack of attention and to remove them. If some child is not concentrating, try to find out the reason behind it. Talk to their parents, counsel their parents that why it's happening, that the child is not able to concentrate in the class, why you are facing so many problems, behavioral issues with the child. So, try to find out these reasons. Causes of inattention. Now we have already completed with this, that were the types of interest, relationship between interest and attention, and right now we were doing the means and methods of focusing of attention. Now we will come to causes of inattention. बच्चे attention क्यों नहीं कर पाते? What's the cause? Now there are three causes, main causes. The lack of interest. Some children have lack of interest because of which they are not able to concentrate. Second is fatigue. कुछ बच्चे थक जाते हैं because आज के ज़माने में the children are not getting the proper diet, proper food, proper dairy products, what their body needs at this particular age. So energy level in the children is low, and if the energy level will be low, fatigue will be there, and if fatigue will be there, the child will not be able to concentrate on one topic. And the presence of distraction. Suppose there is some distraction कि आप पढ़ा रहे हैं और आपके बगल वाले क्लास में some music is being played. Then if such type of distraction will come, then the child will also feel distracted and will not like to listen to what you are saying. Okay, so I'll just read it out. Attention and interest go together. Sometimes it happens that the individual tried a lot, not in a position to pay attention. That's necessary to avoid inattention by removing the causes of fatigue. The third significant cause of inattention is the presence of distraction. जो distract होते हैं. Here the distraction means a stimulus that attracts attention away from which we mean to attend. For example, student engaged in study finds his attention distracted when there is a band being played nearby. जैसे मैंने आपको बोला कि एक क्लास के अंदर आप पढ़ा रहे हो और दूसरे क्लास के अंदर टीचर ने डांस क्लास करा रहा है, तो obviously the child will get affected. But it has to be borne in mind that the nature of distraction differs from person to person. In other words, what may appear to be distraction for one individual may be attention for other. अब मान लीजिए कि एक क्लास के अंदर आप तो ABCD पढ़ा रहे हो, तो आप चाहते हो कि बच्चा उस पर कॉन्सेंट्रेट करे, but the other teacher is singing some rhymes, so she wants the students to concentrate on the rhymes. So at one same point, something can be attraction for somebody and distraction for the other. Another important point about distraction is the meat is not always harmful. Sometimes it incites an individual to make greater efforts. The training of inattention is incomplete without ability to concentrate even in the presence of some distraction. Children are not able to concentrate much, and this causes a lot of distraction in the children. The teacher has to develop in his students a genuine interest in the subject that he is teaching. If there is no interest in the subject that the teacher is teaching, then he will not pay any attention to it. So there has to be some concentration should be there. Teacher should be able to communicate herself properly, and the children should be able to take up in the right possible manner. Training in attention develops a habit of attention, but it also depends on certain factors. It is related to the desire or interest of the individual. The third factor is the desire for mystery. When a person takes up a task as a challenge to his ability, he will like to show others that he can accomplish something challenging. अब कभी कभी लोग चैलेंज के तरह भी ले लेते हैं, when you know they have to just show off to the other person that they have taken it as challenge and they are going to do it, they are going to complete it. The fourth common factor is the fear of punishment or the hope of reward. In the school, there is one common factor which compels the student to pay attention to their studies. Nowadays, is the hope of reward, which is being used more than fear of punishment, arousing attention as a bearer. पहले के ज़माने में क्या होता था? Fear of punishment. You know, in our times, we used to be bitten by the snakes, and so many stories you must have heard about your parents, about your elder sisters and brother who have been bitten in the school because of not studying. So now this procedure has been changed a bit, that punishment has been now been changed to reward. So child who is studying properly, who is doing his work properly, is being rewarded for the same, and that's why he is being very happy and attending the classes properly, and his interest in the field is increasing. The teacher has to develop his students' genuine interest in the subject that he is teaching. When this is done, there is no problem of inattention. टीचर को जो है बच्चे का इंटरेस्ट जो भी वो पढ़ा रही है उसमें उसको जगाना होगा ताकि उसको इंटरेस्ट आए और वो इंटरेस्ट लूज ना करे. फाइनली, जेन्युइन इंटरेस्ट इन द सब्जेक्ट इज अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर. That's also very important. The success of the teacher depends on his ability to develop his students a real interest. टीचर की भी एबिलिटी तभी मानी जाएगी जब वो बच्चे का इंटरेस्ट उस पर्टिकुलर चीज़ में पैदा कर दे, मीन्स क्रिएट कर दे. बच्चे को उस चीज़ में इंटरेस्ट नहीं था, बट टीचर का टीचिंग मेथोडोलॉजी इतना सॉलिड था, इट वॉज सो गुड दैट द टीचर हैज़ बीन एबल टू गेन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द चाइल्ड, एंड नाउ द चाइल्ड इज हैविंग attention rather than inattention issues. We have considered in detail the various aspects of inattention and attention, have also been seen how we can provide training in attention and control distraction. So you have to go through this chapter. Now we will be doing fatigue. Now what is fatigue? थक जाना. Basically क्या होता है fatigue? Fatigue is being tired. If a student does not pay attention to his lesson, it's not necessarily that is lack of interest. Sometimes it is fatigue that slackens the interest and attention of the student. In some circumstances, the teacher should try to find out the reason for the student not paying attention. It may be lack of interest or due to fatigue. Fatigue is थक जाना. Suppose बच्चे की नींद नहीं पूरी हुई, कल वो बहुत थका हुआ था, उसकी तबीयत ठीक नहीं है. If there is fatigue due to any reason, then the child will not be able to focus on his studies. So the teacher should always focus on the fatigue issue. Fatigue is a stage in which the organs are exhausted and they require rest. Fatigue एक ऐसा कंडीशन है, इसमें हमारे ऑर्गन्स जो है, बॉडी ऑर्गन्स वो थक जाते हैं और उनको रेस्ट की ज़रूरत होती है. Kinds of fatigues and their symptoms. First, fatigue is of two types: physical fatigue and mental fatigue. So physical or bodily fatigue, there are 4-5 points. Bodily fatigue is that when various organs of the body are unable to work properly and effectively. In physical fatigue, the following symptoms are included. Paleness appears on the face. बच्चे का चेहरा पीला पड़ जाता है. Looking at him, you can make that he is tired. Individual starts yawning. What this shows in the classroom, that the teacher is not able to attract the child. Third, individual starts, there is lack of balance in the body. बच्चे ऐसे झूलने लगते हैं, कुछ बच्चे तो सोने भी लगते हैं. So what is that? That is also a kind of fatigue. Number 4 is they start having weakness and lack of strength. Muscle and other parts of the body become weak, lethargic and slack. Number 6 is there is defect or trouble in sitting posture. They won't sit straight, they will sit like this. So again there is one factor. Fatigue is the factor. Eyes grow sleepy, like this. The working capacity or the capacity of work hard diminishes. मेहनत करने की जो क्षमता है वो घट जाती है, कम हो जाती है. Next is mental fatigue. ये तो हो गया physical fatigue that we were talking about. Now mental fatigue. Mental fatigue is when it is possible for a person to maintain and keep interest in mental and psychological activities, there is mental fatigue. वो दिमागी रूप से थक जाता है. कभी कभी क्या होता है, you are thinking about something and after some time you will feel that you are tired. You have not carried out any physical activity, but still mental thinkness, mental thoughtfulness, and if you are straining your mind too much, that will also call you fatigue, mental fatigue. Now, mental fatigue symptoms are when there is mental fatigue, then there is lack of interest in learning a lesson. When there will be mental fatigue in the child, तो वो कोई लेसन को लर्न नहीं करना चाहेगा. There is a keen desire for change. चाहेगा कि आप कुछ और हो, आप कुछ और हो. Third, it's not possible to focus attention or concentrate attention on a particular thing. एक किसी चीज़ पे attention देना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. It's not possible to understand anything properly. कोई भी चीज़ वो सही से समझ नहीं पाएगा. There is different for the word in hand. Different हो जाएगा word in hand. इट्स पॉसिबल फॉर अ पर्सन टू बी इरिटेटेड ऑन द स्लाइटेस्ट थिंग, छोटी छोटी बात पे बहुत इरिटेट हो जाएगा. देयर इज हैवीनेस इन द ब्रेन, सर भारी भारी सा लगेगा. इट्स पॉसिबल फॉर द पर्सन टू कमिट मेनी मिस्टेक्स. कई बार तो जब मेंटल फटीग में बच्चे चले जाते हैं तो गलती पे गलती वो करने लगते हैं, उनका दिमाग बिल्कुल काम ही नहीं करता है. तो कई बार कहा जाता है कि यू टेक अ ब्रेक एंड देन रीस्टार्ट एंड डू इट अगेन. Now, relationship between mental and physical fatigue. We have seen at various places that man is psycho-physical being. There is a close relationship between the mind and the body. So, as the mental activity influences the body, influences the mental activity. So, in this case, when the mental fatigue is very closely related to physical fatigue. In that case, one causes the other. अगर एक चीज़ हो गया तो दूसरी चीज़ भी हो जाएगी. If the mind is too much tired, the body will also be tired. And other hand, if the body is very much tired, then it will not be possible for the mind to take any mental work. So either ways, they are also two sides of the same coin. Causes of fatigue. उसका कारण क्या है, क्यों थकते हैं लोग? First is physical reason of fatigue, carbonic acid. There are certain responsible factors for which mental and physical fatigue. The factors are psychological, and the psychological factor is that due to the movement, there is some mechanical change in them. In the beginning, the muscles are alkaline, but with the movement, acid generate in them and they become acidic. Due to this chemical change, there is generation of heat and energy in the body. So while working, energy is visible, but along with the energy, carbonic acid is also generated. This acid, after getting mingled with blood, create fatigue. वेरी क्लियर क्या होता है कि एक एसिड बन जाता है बॉडी में, और ये एसिड जो है जब ब्लड के साथ रिएक्ट करता है तो ये एक फटीग क्रिएट कर देता है. Second is physical reason for mental fatigue. Mind is the basis of every mental and psychological activity. Due to mental work, changes start taking place in the cortex of the cerebrum. यहाँ पे cortex of the cerebrum में changes होने लगता है. Is that the conscious resides? These changes are similar in the changes that take place other poisonous elements which lead to mental fatigue. So इस तरीके के changes होने लगते हैं और वो similar changes होते हैं. फाइनली क्या होता है कि वो मेंटल फटीग का एक कारण बन जाता है. कॉजेज ऑफ द फटीग इन द क्लासरूम. क्लासरूम के अंदर बच्चे क्यों थकते हैं? इन द क्लासरूम इट इज़ पॉसिबल फॉर द स्टूडेंट टू गेट टायर्ड. द फटीग में नॉट बी आइदर फिजिकल और मेंटल, इट मे बी कॉज बाय द फॉलोइंग फैक्टर. क्लासरूम के अंदर फटीग का रीज़न यही हो सकता है. फिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट, कि कैसा एनवायरनमेंट है. अगर क्लासरूम का एनवायरनमेंट अच्छा नहीं है फिजिकली, टू मच कोल्ड है, टू मच हॉट है, तो बच्चा थक ही जाना है. सेकेंड इज personality of the teacher. The teacher should also have a very good personality. She should be interesting enough for the students. अगर वो अच्छे से तरीके से interestingly नहीं बताएंगी, then the students will not be able to gain it. Personality of the child. Sometimes defect in the personality of the child is also responsible for fatigue in them. The eyes of the child may be weak. His mental condition may not be normal, and then it may create long time for having the interest. Fatigue will always be there. Ways and means to remove fatigue. कैसे हम fatigue को रिमूव कर सकते हैं? फर्स्ट इज़ फ्रेश एयर. अगर हम फ्रेश एयर अपने घर में आने दें, खिड़कियाँ खोल के रखें, दरवाजे खोल के रखें, फ्रेश एयर इज़ अलाउड टू एंटर योर बॉडी, देन ऑर्गन्स एंटर योर लंग्स एंड कार्बोनिक एसिड गो डाउन. सो दिस इज़ द रीज़न फटीग इज रिमूव. तो हवा खाइएगा तो फिर थकान दूर हो जाएगी. सेकेंड इज स्लीप एंड रेस्ट. दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. 8 hours ऑफ स्लीप टू अ adult and 10 to 12 hours of sleep to a child is very important. If you will not sleep, then you will feel toxin will be there in your body and you will not feel fresh. Nutritive diet. You should take a very nutritive diet. That's also a very important factor. If you will not take nutritive diet, then you will feel sleepy and discouraged. Fifth is generation of change in work. Change in work is also important. अब एक ही काम को हम बहुत देर से करते करते जब थक जाते हैं, so you have to change your work. If you change your work and you start doing something else, then automatically your interest will again gain. Napoleon has gone to the extent of saying that change in work is as good as rest. नेपोलियन ने तो इतना भी कहा है कि आराम करना भी उतना ही जो है चेंज ऑफ टॉपिक इम्पॉर्टेंट है जितना रेस्ट करना इम्पोर्टेंट. दोनों में कोई एग्जाम्पल में अंतर नहीं है. जनरेशन ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. Thorndike is the opinion that fatigue and interest are closely related. If the person has interest, it is possible for him to work for 12 hours at one stretch. Huxley has gone ahead and said that if there is interest, a person can work up to 16 hours at a time. अगर किसी आदमी को किसी काम में मन लग जाता है तो वो 16 घंटे तक भी लगातार उस काम को कर सकता है. So formulation of interest is generation of interest is also very important. Number 6 is formation of habit. Now suppose you have formed a habit for doing a particular activity, then in that case also habit forming is also, if habit is formed, there only saves mental energy but also bring about physical efficacy. So actions performed out there on the habits are very good and they do not generate fatigue. Number 7 is arrangement for recreation. There must be some arrangement for recreation. पढ़ते पढ़ते बच्चा बोर हो जाएगा तो वो कुछ तो करेगा, साइकिल चलाएगा, गेम खेलेगा, खिलौनों से खेलेगा. So that recreation activity should always be done to remove the fatigue. Doing the job early. If the work is done quickly and at the earliest, there is less likelihood of fatigue. So you should always try to do your work quickly so that there is less possibility of being fatigued. Now, ways and means for saving the students from fatigue in the classroom. These were the general means and for the students in the classroom as well as at home. But I will give you some review on the ways and means for saving the fatigue in the classroom. The teacher should take the course the following wash and means in order to save the students from fatigue. Proper arrangement for sitting. There should be proper arrangement for sitting in the classroom. It increases the working capacity of the student. Some educationalists on the worldwide say that the Indian ways of sitting one leg bent is the best method of sitting. एक पैर को झुका के पैर मोड़ के बैठना सबसे अच्छा तरीका है. देयर शुड बी प्रॉपर लाइट. रोशनी जो प्रॉपर होनी चाहिए क्लासरूम के अंदर. अगर लाइट नहीं होगी तो बच्चे का अटेंशन नहीं होगा बिकॉज ही वोंट बी एबल टू सी इट प्रॉपरली इन द प्रॉपर लाइट. थर्ड इज फ्रेश एयर. कमरे के अंदर ताज़ी हवा आनी चाहिए. दैट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड दैट ठंडी हवा आएगी तो बच्चों को बहुत अच्छा महसूस होगा. दे विल फील फ्रेश. Provision for midday meal, that is also very helpful. There should be a provision for the midday meal of the children. Number 5, there should be a good timetable, that if this certain subjects are difficult while the others are easy, so they should be carried out in a better manner. ऐसा नहीं कि जो subject hard है हमेशा हम वही पढ़ाते रहेंगे, so in that case there will be problem. He said that difficulty of arithmetic is taken as 100, difficulty of physical exercise shall be 90, history and geography will be 85. Certain subjects are difficult and certain are easy. It is said that music and art are the least tiring subjects. सबसे कम जो थकान होता है वो म्यूजिक एंड आर्ट में होता है. अरेंजमेंट फॉर रिक्रिएशन. रिक्रिएशन के भी कुछ इंतज़ाम ज़रूर होने चाहिए. रिक्रिएशन का मतलब ये हुआ कि आज आप हमारे घर इतने दिनों के बाद आ रहे हो या आप कहीं भी आप क्लासरूम के अंदर आ रहे हो तो एक अरेंजमेंट होना चाहिए रिक्रिएशन के लिए, क्योंकि एक ही चीज़ करते करते बच्चे जो हैं वो थक जाते हैं, परेशान हो जाते हैं. तो आप उनको कुछ और कराएंगे, बाहर झूला झुलाएंगे, पार्क में खिलाएंगे तो बच्चे की एनर्जी फिर से रिटेन हो जाएगी. द लास्ट पॉइंट इज इंटरेस्टिंग मेथड ऑफ टीचिंग. दैट आई हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड विथ यू सो मेनी टाइम्स अर्लियर. देन सिंस इट इज़ अ प्री स्कूल you have to be very 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 attentive and you have to teach the children as much as you can in your possible method, because that's the best thing that you can give to the child. So this is all about we have been doing today is interest, attention and fatigue. With this I have finished the chapter. I'll be sharing you the study material. If there's anything that you need to learn or know or any query, then please get back to me.